We begin with the fact that it is Halloween Eve, and we have got a lot of fun headed your way. First of all, there are a lot of Atlanta area sports fans listening to this open right now saying, oh, now we win a game. We can't win when we're down 3-1 against the LA Dodgers. We lose 3 straight, Dodgers win the World Series. We can't win when we go on the road against Alabama and we have a chance to establish Kirby Smart as the first ever coach to beat Nick Saban, who used to coach for Nick Saban. No, we lose that game. And in fact, in the second half, we get blown out. And we can't win, I'm sorry, Atlanta Falcon fans, we can't win the Super Bowl or games that really matter. But when we are 1-6 and everybody has started to turn the page and say, you know what, maybe it's time for us to finally think about replacing Matt Ryan. Just maybe we could actually lose when we need to lose and win when we need to win. But instead, the Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan will not go quietly into that good night. Thursday night football, it's not a spectacular game. It's not necessarily a game that the nation was clamoring for, but the Falcons go on the road and they beat the Carolina Panthers. And in the process, they go ahead and toss themselves into the mix of teams that win when they need to lose. Because I guarantee you, the vast majority of Atlanta Falcons fans listening to us right now are ready to turn the page on Matt Ryan. They've already fired the head coach. They've already replaced all of the management. And then what happens? The Falcons, who have found a way to lose a game on an onside kick, who have found a way to lose a game while not trying to score at the end of the game, sorry, Todd Gurley, and who have found a way to give up a huge late lead to the Chicago Bears, who have absolutely, positively no offense, suddenly go out and win a game on the road against the Carolina Panthers. And we didn't really have any doubts about this to begin with, but the Atlanta Falcons now 2-6, the Carolina Panthers now 3-5. We already knew this was the case beforehand, but now it's even more firmly the case. The NFC South is going to come down to 43-year-old Tom Brady against 41-year-old Drew Brees to find out which of them is the greatest 40-plus-year-old on the planet. And my vote is probably going to go for Tom Brady. So that is the NFL news. NFL Week 8 underway. The other bit of news, which is fairly significant for those of you out there who are college football fans, is Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, the presumptive number 1 overall pick, has tested positive for COVID and will not play this weekend against Boston College. Now, all of the Corona bros out there are going to tell you, oh my goodness, this is such a massive story. The reality is, based on the timing, it appears Trevor Lawrence is likely to be back for the Notre Dame game next week. And even if he's not back for the Notre Dame game next week, Clemson would, if Notre Dame beat them, which I'm not sure would happen, but might happen, if Notre Dame beat them, Clemson would get a rematch in the ACC title game against Notre Dame. Now, I don't think they're really going to miss Trevor Lawrence against Boston College, although I am betting Boston College on this game, and we'll have a conversation about exactly what the line was. But I put up my picks on Thursday night and told you, if you were fortunate enough to have been following me on Twitter, that I loved Boston College plus 31. And guess what? Now I feel even better about the plus 31 than I did before, because I think this line is likely to move in a big way whenever it reopens officially everywhere, probably by a touchdown or more. But the reality is, if you are a Clemson fan or you are someone who has gambled on Clemson, all this is going to do is pretty much guarantee you that Trevor Lawrence is good to go for the entire college football playoff. And maybe this reflects how jaded I am in general. But my first thought when I saw this news story come out was, wait a minute. This is phenomenal for Clemson. Now they don't have to worry about their starting quarterback, the future number 1 draft pick in the NFL, actually testing positive for COVID in a game that really matters. Arguably, this is the best thing that could have happened to Clemson's title chances, because if the Tigers lose to anybody without Trevor Lawrence, everybody's response is going to be, well, of course they did. But once they actually get back to regular Trevor Lawrence play, they're not going to lose to anybody in the ACC. And if they win, it's just further evidence of how much better they are than everybody else.